Hi, my name's Tim. I have ALS. I'm currently in Scotland, and this shot is framed horribly. Stairs are a bit of a pain in the ass these days, but I'm sitting outside in the vicinity of my old house where I lived in the 1996-1997 school year. My father, being the genius philosophy professor, brought me over here with him for my final year of high school, and everyone thought I was a complete freak.
Tim turned up on the first day of our final year of school, and he was in my registration class, and he stuck out a mile because he was the only guy with long hair and a trench coat who was wearing all black, and he was a big guy, and everybody thought, whoa, who's this weird looking fella.
Tim and I have so much in common, and we function in social situations in very, very similar ways. And when I first met him, it was overwhelming to see somebody who was like, I wish I could do that. I know I've got that inside of me. Like, I'm that person. I just don't have the confidence to do it.
But Tim didn't seem to suffer from any of those insecurities. Certainly remember him proudly wearing a Bad Religion hat, probably 24/7.
He didn't care whether he was accepted or whether people thought he was cool or whatever. He did exactly what Tim needed to be doing.
Tim never tried to look cool, and by the end of the year, everyone wanted to be his best friend.
I just miss it. I just miss. It really is. It's one of the only places in the world that looks better overcast. I've obviously missed my friends. It's been far too long since I've been here.
When we started hanging out with Tim, I think we were quite impressed with the fact that he'd been playing with a band before he came over, who were writing and recording their own stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
He was probably more motivated than we were and had a decent vision of how he saw the music going, and could probably take the basic ideas we had kicking around and form a slightly more coherent whole.
Certainly, Tim was had a bit of a handle on structuring and putting songs together, which
So, yeah,
we were struggling with.
He was definitely an influence from that point of view.
The point in which I got made a singer in a band is possibly the most pivotal point in what made me be a person, and the person that I knew and the person I was confident being. And Tim gave me that and saw that in Tim. That's the most staggering thing, is that Tim saw that person in me a long time before I saw it in myself.
I remember the last moment of the year was me hoisting him up on my shoulders when his band won the Battle of the Bands contest for schools in our area. And on his leaving night, we had a party, and 30-40 people came to wave him goodbye. And I guarantee you, every one of those people there would consider Tim to be, if not their best friend, then, you know, a real sort of personal confidant.
Played the Battle of the Bands and we won it, and it was like the fucking most incredible night. Like, I speak for everyone in the band, that was one of the defining moments in my life.
It was certainly a moment of incredible joy for all of us, and I'm sure that certainly did form an unbreakable bond between us as a band, because it's something, it's an experience that none of us are ever likely to forget.
Well, all of his stories make a lot more sense now, because I had no idea where he was talking about. I mean, obviously, I believed that Sterling existed, but it was absolutely beautiful in a very charming and cute way. The town itself was great.
Well, since Tim's been diagnosed with ALS, it was a real, it was a real shock. I knew he had, I knew that about his mom and that there was this history, but I don't think, it never really occurred that somebody with so much energy and so much, just doing so much in his life who is, could be ill.
When I found out what it was that Tim was dealing with, and that I now had to accept was what he was experiencing, was just the most jaw-dropping moment I've ever experienced as an adult.
Well, man, it was a massive shock to hear it, and it's strange being so far away, and I hadn't necessarily been in touch regularly with Tim at all. So in that sense, it kind of brought us back together.
The first thing is like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening. And then the second thing is like, I'm so far away from this person and there's absolutely nothing I can do, and just a feeling of utter helplessness.
What's been really amazing seeing him since he's come over to Scotland, I wasn't sure how he was going to be or how I was going to be around him, and what would be different, and would I have to kind of tread carefully, would there be subjects that were off limits, and I just see the same guy, just laughing and joking, and just he may be a little less mobile, but his mind is more hyperactive than ever.
As sad as the disease is, and obviously is absolutely as heartbreaking as a thing I could imagine, the positives that have come out of one man having the most negative thing happen to him are just astonishing. And that only happens when that's an absolutely remarkable person.
In the end, I guess they realized how awesome I was.
It's really great to have him back and have that energy. It reminds me of why we all loved him so much when he was in Scotland, because he's the kind of guy that you spend time with and you feel more alive, more like a happier, better, more interesting version of yourself, because Tim makes you feel that way.
I'm just so grateful. Just so grateful with every inch of my being that I've known him and that he was in my life. And now it just isn't fair. And I love him.
Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. Even when the odds are down, when no one gives a fuck. And even when pigs are flying, hell is frozen up. Well, I'll die trying, I'll never give up. And I know it's hard to love someone whose head is in the stars, but don't give up, hold on soon, until I've kept my promise and have given